To those of you who have not met me yet, my name is Darcy Ladwig, and I am housing coordinator with Peace Northwest. And this is the third in our monthly housing meetings that we're putting on, and we get to hear from Peggy DiSalle. Am I saying that correct?
That's, you said it perfect.
Erin Holthaus,
yep,
who are from SafeinHome, and they're going to share with us their program and how it works with our state program and how it works for people to live independently in the community. And so I think we'll go ahead and get started. Awesome. I will make you the host so that you can share here.
Hopefully you're not hearing my dogs barking in the background. Every time I get on a Zoom, my dogs decide to let the world know that they're here. Ask Erin, it's a phenomenon every single time. Okay, so I'll share my screen. All right. I'll share my sound here and then we'll be good to go. Awesome. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, again, first of all, Darcy, thank you so much for connecting with me and allowing Erin and I to come here and just share what SafeinHome is all about. And you know, we've been in the state now for over a year. We're serving over 60 people in the state. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful ride getting this program going in the state. No one's ever heard of what remote supports is. And so Erin and I get the pleasure of every single day being able to just talk to everybody in the state and educate them all about remote supports. So thank you so much for allowing us to be here. We really, really appreciate that. And we are, you know, I think, as parents, as people, you know, we're all on the same mission here as far as trying to really empower the people with ID and DD to be able to live independently in their own home. Like Zach wants to move out and be on his own. It's a natural course in life, and everybody should be entitled to that if they want. And so this program really does help that transition and also help them stay independent, but yet still be safe and protected as well. We're gonna watch a quick video right now of one of our SafeinHome heroes. His name is Brandon. He also lived with his mom until he was well into his 50s. And then his mom became elderly and ill and could no longer care for both of them in their home. So they had to move out separately. And this is his amazing story of how he really wanted to choose that independent life and what SafeinHome, when we partnered with him, what that was able to do for him. So we're going to play that right now.
Brandon likes to be busy all the time. He is not lazy. He's going to do something.
He loves to draw, put puzzles together.
He does love to walk. He was born about 6 weeks early, and he had hyaline membrane. And they had to watch over him for that, and he was underweight, being premature. So it was a while before he got to come home. He's this little tiny, tiny baby. He would have problems swallowing, and I would be up half the night with him. And finally, we got through that. It shows me that if he wants to do it, he can do it. And if he wants to do it, you're not stopping him. He wants to be even more independent. I mean, he was telling me, hey, I'm a 56-year-old man. Nobody's got a right to tell me anything.
When I first found out that Brandon was going to be needing to move into his own place, I talked to my supervisor about those concerns, and she mentioned remote supports. I was able to contact SafeinHome, set up an assessment that they were able to do for Brandon to see what they might have that would meet Brandon's needs to help keep him safe living independently.
I want to be independent. I live with Mom on Hamburger Road, big house.
How long ago did you move from your house to here?
About a year, almost. I like to live in an apartment by myself. I like to be independent.
It's such a comfort to me and everybody else. In every area of his life, he is monitored. He had a GPS. If he got lost or something happened, he could use that.
The M-Purse is a walkie-talkie cell phone device that he's able to take with him. If he runs into any problems, if he's out for a walk and he might get lost, he's able to call SafeinHome and they'll be able to pull up his coordinates of where he's at using GPS so that they can assist him with getting back home or where he needs to be, or alert his call tree, which has his mom on it.
It gives me a sense of peace because it's like a mama, that's taking care of her child. It's a privacy thing. It's not something that you're noticed. It's not like Big Brother. It's just something that is there to take care of him when there's no one else that can be there. So that's why I am so happy with that and grateful for it.
How's it going?
Okay. Most of those stories.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got planned for the afternoon, Brandon?
Make lasagna, watch TV.
Well, I appreciate you checking in. Is there anything that we can do for you at the moment, or anything on your mind that you wanted to talk about?
I'll just have to be here later.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
Well, I hope you enjoy your afternoon, and if you need anything from us, feel free to give us a call back, okay?
He needs help. And this monitoring system is a comfort and a blessing to me. I mean, I know that he's not somebody's gonna sneak in or he's gonna get out. And we can all lie down and have a good night's sleep because Brandon is safe.
Awesome. So that's Brandon's story. And by the way, just real quickly, if you want to ask questions while we're doing our presentation, please feel free to just ask your question while we're going through. So go ahead, Erin.
Okay, well, I think as you can see from what you just saw with Brandon, it's not just equipment. We're not just dropping off assistive technology in someone's house and saying goodbye. If you just need assistive tech, we'll tell you, to get it on Amazon because it'll be cheaper. With us, it's remote support. It's a service. It's supporting someone when they decide. It's about giving people that choice of reaching out to us, and it's totally in your hands and your control.
And there are 5 elements to remote supports. And Erin and I are actually going to go through each individual element in detail right now.
So the first one is it's all about the person. If someone else is wanting this for someone, it's just not going to work. The person themselves has to want it because it has to be part of their goals and what they want for their lives. So what we're going to ask is what's important to you, what's important for you, and what are your goals and what are you looking forward to doing in your life? Like, what are some changes? And then Peggy and I, knowing the equipment that we have, will create that learning environment and create that next step toward that independence using the assistive technology and the remote support staff that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And the second element to remote supports is, of course, our remote support staff that connects with everybody on an individual basis. They still get that human-to-human connection, just like they would if someone was doing in-home care for them. Just like we are right now, right? You can see me, you can see my expression, you can see if I'm happy, you can see if I'm sad. We can have a meaningful conversation. And that's exactly what our remote support staff does with our clients. And all of our remote support staff is trained in ACT, which is acceptance commitment therapy. They're very, very well trained on behavioral techniques, how to help somebody who is maybe lonely or feeling depressed or maybe is anxious. And so they know what to say and how to say it to really help them through these, especially now, right? With COVID, how everybody has been experiencing so much just isolation that it has really been affecting a lot of people. And this has just been a godsend for a lot of those people. Our remote support staff is non-directed. They will never just call somebody and say, hey, Sue, it's 2 o'clock, time to take your meds, let's go. They work it into a conversation and help them make the decision that it's time to take their meds rather than being directive. And we really do work with them on a daily basis to really develop those decision-making skills, because a lot of people with disabilities kind of get that taken away from them just because, you know, they're just used to having decisions made for them. And our remote support specialist really does a good job of creating those authentic relationships with our individuals. They really get to know them. They know them on a, you know, on a personal level. And it's because we really do work with them on an individual basis, but create that continuity and that stability with each person. All of our call centers, which we have two, one's in California, one's in Arizona. No one works remotely from home. They are in a HIPAA compliant call center that's supervised 24/7 with video surveillance, and every contact and every conversation is recorded and extremely HIPAA compliant. Like even all through COVID, we had to keep our call centers open. Nobody was able to work from home. It was pretty amazing how they just kind of transformed that really, really quickly.
The assistive technology, basically half of it is about communication devices. So what Peggy and I have been really using for almost everybody in Washington State is the tablet that you see with Brandon in the picture. And that goes both ways. So it's one button touch. You can push the button and it reaches the remote support staff. That does not have to be scheduled. You are not paying for something 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but it's support on demand. So you can reach out whenever you want to, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we will answer. We're not going to say, well, it's not during your hours of support, so you're going to have to call back later. You can call anytime. The person can call anytime. And then we can also reach out to the person on the tablet for reminders or wellness checks or whatever it is. On the top of the right-hand corner there is the GeoComm, and that is like a cell phone walkie-talkie thing. And I'm sorry if you guys can hear my dog making noises in the background. Can you hear that, Peggy?
All expected. Nope, can't even hear it.
It's so loud where I am. Okay. And then there's a seizure wristband, medication management. I mean, there's so many things. We have like 70 pieces of equipment. We do not really talk about them when we're on presentations because you would be so bored, but we do work them into the conversation. We're having consultations and conversations with people. After we learn what their goals are, we know what equipment to bring into the conversation that could help with the goals.
There's also sensor technology. So we have the assistive technology and we have sensor technology, things like, you know, door sensors, window sensors, heat sensors that we can put on a stove. Let's say someone maybe has lost their independence of cooking, but they really want to cook. They want to do things more for themselves. So we can do things like put a little heat sensor on their stove and put a motion sensor in their kitchen. So if by chance that they would maybe leave the stove on, it would send an alert. We're not watching them cook. We're not looking at the monitors. We're not looking at the sensors. We are, you know, they would send an alert if the heat was detected and the remote support staff saw no motion in the kitchen. We would reach out to the person and say, you know, hi Sue, how are you doing? What are you up to? Were you just cooking by any chance? Let's take a walk over to the kitchen because a little heat sensor went off and we just want to make sure that that stove is turned off. That's what would happen with, you know, with sensor technology. Excuse me. I guess I forgot to turn off my phone. So sorry, that was my child. But anyway, so that's how the sensor technology that's coupled with the assistive technology, so it can passively track or activity or inactivity. So we can even, you know, kind of detect falls if that were the case. If there was if they were walking around the apartment and then there was inactivity, no one is watching them walk around their apartment, but that inactivity would send an alert to our remote support staff and they would know to check in with that person because there's been inactivity for a certain amount of time.
So it really just depends on what the person's goals are. What are we looking for? What are we watching for? It's not cameras in someone's home. It's literally sensors that have smart technology and reach out to us if and when something happens that the person wants us to watch out for. So, and then every week their care notes are updated. So this could be for the guardian, for the parents, for the case manager, for a doctor, if we're monitoring seizure activity and trying to mitigate seizures. Maybe we're reminding them to drink more water or take their medications on time. And so this would have all of the communications between the individual and the remote support staff, or, you know, whatever other things we're using the technology for. Everything will be in the notes.
And they can be personalized. Like if you want to see something specific, you can absolutely have them personalized with whatever type of information you would benefit from on the care notes. So, and then this is how it works. It's all together. So everything that we do, there's nothing special about the technology that we use, but it's how it's all integrated together. And then the software that SafeinHome has that runs all behind it and integrates everything together and sets up these alerts. And so that our remote support staff can use the assistive technology to reach out to people and assess a situation with the sensor technology. So it really is all incorporated together. Highly intelligent system. In fact, it can even develop patterns like in the home. And if something kind of goes out of the pattern, that can also send an alert to our remote support staff. So the software is highly intelligent.
So here's just some of the things that we support. Sometimes it's literally like Peggy was talking about the isolation. I was speaking with someone today who was losing their support staff. And so it's really sometimes just to create that gap in that loss that's there, and that giving someone to reach out to, which is SafeinHome, which is, you know, touching that tablet and being able and knowing that on the other end, when you push that button, somebody's going to answer and know you. They're going to know everything that you want them to know about you, and they're going to be able to support you in whatever ways that you want in your goals. So it's not about what we think you should have, right? It's not about what your case manager thinks that you should have. It's what you want. And being remote, we can't force anything, right? We're literally there just to support you. And it's really up to the person to answer when we call or to reach out to us. So it puts all of the choice and control in the person's hands. And really it's creating that learning environment. And it could be for any one of these supports: medication management, overnight support, visitor safety, whatever you're working on. And our goal is to slowly move to different goals, to learn that where you don't even need us anymore, where you're working on something else, 6 months later. That's the goal for us, is that with these notes that you're getting every week, you're seeing changes and you're seeing that learning is happening, support is happening, and it's changing your life for the better, and you're moving on to other things.
So we are just trying to really help anyone who wants more control at home or in the community, or who wants just more independence, even if it's just a couple of hours a day. They just want some more independent time, a few hours a day. We can help support that as well, so that everybody is comfortable about this particular individual having that independence. We just want to help people to make more empowered decisions, right? We want to help with and work with people to be able to make their own decisions. We want to be able to work with people to have more alone time.
So here's the steps. It's really easy. It's just a conversation. A consultation is a conversation. It's just Peggy and I saying, like we were talking about earlier, what's important to you, what's important for you, what are you looking for, what are your goals? We write the proposal, send it off to the case manager. This is paid for by your waivers. If you are not on a waiver, we can help you with that. So it's just about getting on a waiver, and that's how this is paid for. The DDA then approves it, and then we bring the equipment out and service starts.
And this is our contact information. And Darcy, of course, knows how to reach out or get a hold of us. And anything that we can do to help, or if there's any questions, like I said, we're here for as long as you need us. Go ahead, Darcy.
Thank you. So my question is, what waivers is it available on?
It's on IFS, SIBS, Basic Plus, and Core. And really, Basic Plus and Core are the two big ones that we work with, but it is available on IFS and SIBS.
Does it come out of aggregate funding then, or what?
It does. Yes, okay. It does. Yeah, that's exactly right.
So can you give us, and that's limited and used for other things. So can you give us any idea of cost then?
Well, it really depends. That's hard to do because it depends upon really what the individual needs. So it's not like a cookie cutter package. Like here's your, but I mean, we really do work within the Basic Plus. If you're limited and you're using some of your funds for something else, we can try to work within that. Were you going to say something, Erin?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say it's $6.88 an hour for remote support, if that helps. So it's $6.88 an hour for remote support. The technology part is separate, and that changes because they change the technology all the time. So it's nothing that Peggy and I remember, plus because there's 70 pieces of equipment. So there's a spreadsheet and we kind of put that in and it's all kind of tallies up and says what the price is. And so we come into the consultation saying, what's the waiver? What's the funding? And sometimes if it's supported living, though, if somebody's on supported living, you don't even have to worry about the aggregate budget at all. It just depends on what's needed. We've had case managers multiple times do ETRs, exceptions to the rule, to go over budget. And sometimes that doesn't work. And we have to go to our boss and we're like, hey, this person needs this and here's the situation and we need to discount it. So there's it's so different for everyone. Washington State is seeing the need. There's so many people that just don't get anything because everyone is short-staffed. And so they're trying to, they need to just expand the budget because it's just not realistic, because basically what we're doing in Washington State on aggregate funding is a tablet and a geocom and 2 hours of remote support a day. And that's 2 hours. It's not really, it can be all day. It's on demand, right? So you can reach out whenever you want. But the only thing that the waiver allows is for 2 hours of remote support a day, unless they're in supported living on the core. And then it can be like Peggy has some people that have complete overnight support on remote supports, so that now there's no person in the house, but remote supports is there with them. Just different, depends on the person and the case manager and what's going on. And
so Erin, can you repeat that again, what you can kind of get in the Basic Plus waiver? You said a tablet, a
geocom, so the tablet would be for at home, and then the geocom's for out in the community. Okay. They both pretty much do the same thing. And they can be either cellular based if there's no internet in the home, or if there is Wi-Fi, then we would use the Wi-Fi based tablet. The geocom is a cell phone, so it's basically a cell plan, and you can put up to 7 phone numbers in that geocom. And again, the button, just one button push, and it will call us or whoever could call mom or whoever, and then we can also call it.
Is everybody on pretty much Basic Plus, or what is usually the waiver that everybody's on within this group?
Basic Plus here.
Yeah. Okay.
It kind of varies. My daughter has IFS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can, like I said, we work within whatever aggregate dollars you have available, Martha. So we'll make something work, right?
So my other question is, my son lives at home, and sometimes, we leave and he's got some caregiving, but sometimes not enough. Can you do kind of it like on a respite basis now and then type of thing if we set it up?
Well, if we can't have certain hours. So basically that would be that on-demand part where it doesn't have to be scheduled. But you do want some sort of continuity for the person, but also so that we can have the staffing. So for us, we want to say, okay, let's say we're reaching out twice a day for a wellness check. Maybe they're like, I'm good, my caregiver's here, don't call me, I'm not going to answer. Okay. But then when they're not there, we're still going to call and answer, or vice versa, they can call us.
Okay.
So
that's the kind of regular is what you're saying.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Just so that we have the staffing and we know what hours are, that he is alone, or.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And it does really develop that pattern of having that connection with the remote support staff by having that, kind of having contact every day.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought of this as always, I mean, you guys have been around here in the state.
Very long, yeah.
But as an adult service, could you do it for young people? Like, sure. there's that huge issue too of like, once somebody becomes 12 years old, they can't go 12 years of age, they can't go to like a daycare setting after school, but may need some supports. So I was just thinking of like after school supports.
We do lots of after school support. I have several people that are on Basic Plus. That's exactly that's the little sweet spot that we fill for because the parents are working. They get home earlier than the parents do. And so we definitely do that with a few people already.
And then also, so you mentioned if people call and need a service but don't are interested but they don't have a waiver, that you assist people to get a waiver. Is that what I understood, or you assist?
Just by pointing them in the right direction.
Okay.
We can't personally, but just like informing families and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Similar to what you're doing.
Community for housing. Yeah. Or you guys are, point them in the right direction, basically. Which is
Okay. I
kind
thought
of what
maybe
you
you guys
do.
had a secret handshake or something.
Oh.
No.
I wish we did.
But we have people that change waivers a lot. We've had people on IFS waivers wanting the service and not being able to. And then, so the case manager's like, okay, we're changing you over to Basic Plus, or, depending on what the needs are.
Yeah.
So they have such a big caseload. And I'm sure that it's like, they probably, they have a very small percentage of their caseload that they spend most of their time on. And then the rest of it is kind of like self-sufficient. But it's like, yeah, hey, let's reach out to your case manager and talk to them and see if we can switch your waiver over, or, go up to the next level in IFS or whatever it is.
So if we want this service, we start with our case manager. Is that what you said?
You can reach out to us directly too.
Yeah, we can just, as long as you know who your case manager is, we can have the consultation with you. And all we need to know is who the case manager is so that we can send them the proposal, because they have to send it on to get approved.
Okay. And again, I was looking at this. How long does that take from start to finish?
Depends on the case manager.
Okay.
It depends on the DDA approval process. I mean, honestly, it's only been taking, like right now, it only took about 2 weeks to get I had 3 proposals that all got approved today, and they all got submitted on the same day, and they all got approved today. And so that was like literally less than 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. And then once the DDA approves it, then we can schedule an installation within 24 to 48 hours.
Well, and I think something that's important that we forgot to mention, Peggy, is that part of our process is having a care plan. We have to have a care plan too. So before we start services, we want to know, well, who are we calling if this happens? And what if this happens? Then who do we call? What if that person doesn't answer? Then who do we call? And so on and so forth, so that we know, worst case scenario, what you would like us to do in certain situations.
Great question, Zach. Let me show you. This is our tablet. Can you see that? So this is exactly what the tablet looks like. It's a Samsung tablet. There's literally only it's one push of a button to our remote supports. Unless there are other services that we provide for you, like maybe a Ring doorbell or something like that. But typically it's just a one-touch connection. And the only thing that the tablet is going to be able to be used for is to connect to our remote support staff. You can't access like internet from it or anything like that. It's a direct line. And then of course the GeoComm, which is the portable device that can connect to any of your family members, because it's literally just like a little mini cell phone walkie-talkie type of device. We can have it connect directly to remote support staff in the first level. I mean, you can have up to 7 people on what's called a call tree. And so you get to decide who you want to connect with first. And then usually if it's remote supports, then we have 6 other people behind, and if you're in whatever situation, if you get lost or if you missed your bus or whatever the case is, then we would connect with you and say, okay, would you like us to call your mom? Do you want us to call your case manager? And that type of thing, because we'll have all of those phone numbers in the call tree. But that's a great question, Zach. Any other questions?
And did you get my case manager's name?
I did. So do you want me to reach out to, where do you live, Zach? What area do you live in?
Vancouver, Washington.
Okay, Vancouver. So Eva Cole. Okay. I will try to did you want me to reach out to her because you're interested in the service, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I can make sure that I absolutely do that. Or you can, if you have, do you have contact with her very easily or no?
My mom does.
Okay, because I can find her phone number. I'll reach her.
And tell my mom too, so she knows.
Okay, sounds good. We will, yes. So when the time comes, I'm gonna reach out to Ava and then Eva, I will reach out to Eva and then we'll set up a time where you and I, and if you want your mom to be there, we can have her there. And if you want Eva to be there too, we can have her there as well. And we'll discuss what what you want.
Will it be you or Darcy?
It'll be me.
Okay.
Yes, it'll be me.
Because I met Darcy.
Yes, wonderful. Yeah, no, Darcy is the one that's introducing us. So I will be the one that will help you if SafeinHome is what you want. But I'll make that happen for you, Zach.
Okay.
Katie, do you have your hand up?
Oh, Katie's muted. Let me see if I can unmute her. Oh no, I can only ask to unmute. Something changed within Zoom. You used to be able to unmute people and now you can't. There you go. Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. I forgot. What did you say your name was again? I wasn't paying attention. I had a busy day.
That's okay. My name is Peggy, and then my counterpart here is Erin.
Okay, okay. So Darcy said this was a meeting about housing. Do you know who's in charge of like the roommate situation? Like if I were to get a roommate, like, or is that Darcy? I mean, what's your guys' department?
Yeah, we don't work with housing. That you can talk to Darcy about. We work with you once you have housing, or if you're at home, and we can set you up with, with this service.
Okay, and what does that service include?
It includes assistive technology, like a tablet that I was already, that I showed Zach just now. This gives you the ability, Katie, to be able to speak to someone remotely 24/7. Okay, you can have a remote support specialist to speak to whenever you need to speak to somebody.
Okay.
Okay.
And what was that I heard about the Zach mentioned about something, the bus transportation? I wasn't quite sure what he meant by that, or what he mentioned something about taking the bus, or he said that he takes the bus. What
Peggy was saying, Katie, Peggy was talking about if you get on the wrong bus.
Yes.
That's what the GeoCom can help. You push a button and then we can find out where you're at, because it actually has a GPS on it, where if you push the button, we can say, okay, we see where you're at. Let's help you get back to where you want to be.
Okay, because I usually call C-Tran, and I have to say that speaking of today, I actually did get on the wrong bus, and the bus driver was not very helpful, and I was actually having anxiety at the time, and it was annoying because I was trying to get to the Vancouver clinic because I had an appointment with my doctor, and I was literally freaking out because it's 10:20, it's 10:28, where the heck is the bus? And I actually did not grow up in the Vancouver or Kansas area, so I'm not really familiar with this area. I mean a little bit, but I'm hoping to move into the Vancouver area. But other than that, I don't like getting lost myself. Like if I don't know where I am, and that could cause me a lot of stress because I'm not very good with maps and everything, and I had to check in with my mom 24/7, but yeah, it's not very fun for me getting lost or me being late for appointment, which I wasn't, but yeah, I just had a busy day. I had too much anxiety inside, and it was kind of annoying for me.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can help you with that, Katie, if you want. Do you have a case manager, Katie?
Yes, I do, and her name's also Eva Cole.
Oh, you got Eva too. Okay, so I will reach out to Eva, and we'll talk, I'll talk to Eva to maybe we can get you one of these devices, Katie, so that whenever you leave the house, you can wear this device. And again, if you do get lost, if you get on the wrong bus, if you just need somebody to talk to even while you're on the bus, just because you're having anxiety, you can use this device to talk to our remote support staff, and they will work you, they'll work with you in any situation that you're in, okay?
Okay, so would their job be like, let's say I got on the wrong bus, would their job like try to get me back to where I'm supposed to go?
Yeah, they can certainly, well, they'll be able to tell where you are because there's a GPS, just like in a cell phone, there's a GPS in this device, and they'll work with you to, you have to tell them where you want to go. Yes, the short answer is yes, they'll work with you and get you going in the right direction.
Okay, so yeah, if I would really like that. Because I personally don't like getting lost anywhere and not knowing where I am.
I don't blame you.
And Katie, I was going to share that you may have missed the part where it's very individualized. So it would be, you would talk about, oh, that this situation happened and I don't ever want that to happen again. And how can you make it so it works for me? So I think that this would be a great thing to find out more about.
Yeah, this isn't just for emergencies. This is just, you can reach out anytime. So we had someone on service, and I don't think we ever said anything to him, just because sometimes Peggy and I, we work here, we don't think about these things, but he was saying, oh, I really wanted to push the button, but it wasn't an emergency. So I didn't want to, call because I wasn't in trouble. Like, you can call anytime. You don't have to be in trouble. You can just call because you need to talk to somebody because you're having a bad day and you're stressed out and you need to talk to someone about it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was basically a bad day. It's more like a kind of a nervous wreck day. And yeah, like I told my parents, I don't like being late for anything. And I knew I had an appointment at 11 o'clock, but I took the wrong bus and went the wrong way. That was not even fun for me.
No way.
At the clinic, I was exhausted. My feet were killing me.
Sounds awful.
Yeah. Luckily, I got there.
We'll be able to help you out, Katie.
Okay, thanks. I really appreciate that, Peggy.
Pleasure.
I don't know what the other gal's name is.
It's Erin. But
you're okay. I'm in Spokane anyways. You'll work with Peggy.
Yeah, you'll be working with me, Katie.
Okay.
And I'll reach out. I'll make sure that I get in touch with Ava.
Eva. Oh, it's fine.
I'm gonna call her Ava. I just know it, like Ava Gardner. And I guess that's probably why I have it stuck in my head. I don't know. Eva. Like in the movie WALL-E. Eva. All right.
Don't worry, people get
any other questions?
I have another question if nobody else has questions. I see Lisa's unmuted. Did you have a question?
I do not. I'm just listening. I missed the first half, but I can check out maybe your website and see.
I will share the recording with you all. And my question. So I was thinking that a lot of the people that we work with sometimes maybe are that borderline, and they could definitely use your service but don't qualify for DDA. Is this something that they can get through aging, like home and community services?
They're trying. The DDA they're trying because they do want it, and it's definitely needed. But yeah, it would have to be a private pay situation in that case. Until
it gets, but it is the direction that they definitely want to go in.
Mm-hmm. You know how things go, Darcy. It's very slow.
I'm kind of surprised that that it didn't come from the other direction too, and then DDA was the flow.
It started out SafeinHome started out with senior living. And then the ID and DD community was like, no, we need that over here. And then they we still can work with seniors and do, but that's just not the focus.
Yeah.
Well, I love the idea of it. I love the fact that that it's taking on that proactive versus reactive, and trying to solve some of these care crisis that we're experiencing in our state. So,
Right.
and people can be pretty independent with just supports that fit their needs. So,
right. It's basically, it's replacing that just in case person, the person who's around just in case, or the what if, right? The what if person. Like we set things up so that if the what if does happen or the just in case happens, then we are there. So,
right. And it gives them that, it gives them their independence. It gives them that sense of security, knowing that they're never alone, but yet it still completely gives them their privacy, right? Because it's their choice when they want to use it, or it's their choice when they want us to call them. And so that's probably one of the biggest, things that people talk about. What is their favorite thing about this service? And it's that they enjoy their privacy, but yet still feel completely supported.
Okay, now I just got a new question. So what kind of technical support, like learning to use the equipment, is provided?
That's a good question.
Very good question.
Yeah, we have so I'm in Spokane and I cover Eastern Washington and Region 1. Peggy covers regions 2 and 3. We each have a field service tech. So if something gets lost, broken, stolen, and when they're hooking everything up and teaching and training, the field service tech is the guy. And that's the person that does all of that for the forever, as long as the person's on services.
Right.
Great.
And it's
for Peggy. Peggy goes out a lot too. She takes a lot of work.
I love going out to the clients, and
she's in Vancouver a lot. I think she really wants to move there.
I love the South End, but yeah. Anyway, but also just keep in mind that even though it's technology, it's very simple to use, and the sensor technology is passive. Nothing needs to be done. The hardest thing that anyone has to do on the tablet is just wake it up by shaking it or pushing the little side button and just hitting that call button. That's as difficult as our technology gets. That's it. There's really nothing more. They can even have, if they don't want the tablet and they don't want to see someone, they can just use the GeoComm, which is just that one button also. They can also use an Alexa, so they never have to touch anything. We have an Echo Dot that they could just have the Echo Dot call remote supports, and they never even have to touch anything.
Right. We have people that,
lots of options
that can't push the button. Right. So there are options.
Or that are intimidated by technology, which, like I said, the tablet is just a one touch thing. And thank you, Sabrina. I think she said she likes my painting in the background.